Stress. It's a word we all know too well, and yet it's one of the least understood forces shaping our lives. We think of stress as something that just happens when life gets overwhelming, like deadlines piling up, bills to pay, or arguments with loved ones. But what if stress is actually a deeply wired survival system? One that once protected us, but in today's modern world, often works against us. And more importantly, what if science is uncovering ways to not only manage stress, but to rewire how our bodies respond to it altogether? Let's begin with why we even have stress in the first place. Thousands of years ago, our ancestors lived in environments where survival depended on quick reactions. Imagine walking through the forest and suddenly hearing a rustle in the bushes. In that split second, your body needed to decide fight, flee, or freeze. That burst of stress, fueled by adrenaline and cortisol, was the body's way of getting ready. Your heart would race, your breath would quicken, and energy would be sent to your muscles. That's stress in its purest, most useful form, a built-in alarm system designed to keep you alive. The problem is that in today's world, we don't usually face predators in the forest. Instead, our predators are work emails at midnight, social pressures, traffic jams, or financial worries. The stress response hasn't evolved much, but our environment has changed drastically. That means our bodies still flood with cortisol and adrenaline, preparing us for physical survival when all we really need is to send a polite email or pay the rent. Over time, this mismatch between our biology and our reality creates chronic stress, and chronic stress is where the real damage begins. So how exactly does stress affect your body? The impact is surprisingly wide. On the surface, stress might show up as tension headaches, stomach upset, or trouble sleeping. But deep inside, it's far more insidious. Elevated stress hormones, like cortisol, can weaken your immune system, making you more vulnerable to infections. Long-term stress can also increase your risk of heart disease by keeping your blood pressure high and your blood vessels strained. Even your brain isn't spared. Stress has been shown to shrink the hippocampus, the part of the brain responsible for memory and learning. That's why when you're stressed, it feels harder to concentrate, recall details, or make good decisions. Emotionally, stress rewires your moods. Chronic stress is linked with anxiety, depression, irritability, and even feelings of hopelessness. Think about how you feel after weeks of constant pressure. It's not just exhaustion. It's a weight that can make the world feel heavier and darker. This emotional burden feeds back into the body, further amplifying stress and creating a vicious cycle. That's why overcoming stress isn't just about feeling better. It's essential for wellness and longevity. But here's the good news. The latest scientific discoveries are showing that stress is not an unchangeable fate. The body and brain can be trained, conditioned, and supported to respond differently to stress, reducing its harmful effects, and even transforming it into a tool for resilience. Online stress management and mindfulness training for a healthier you. Discover a science-backed stress management course designed to help you reduce anxiety, boost focus, and improve well-being. Prime Care Loop offers mindfulness training online, meditation practices, and emotional intelligence learning, all in one place. One of the most fascinating findings in recent years is the concept of stress perception. Studies suggest that how you view stress dramatically affects its impact on your health. If you see stress purely as harmful, your body tends to respond in more damaging ways. But if you view stress as a challenge, something that sharpens your focus or fuels your effort, your body's response shifts. Heart rate still rises, but blood vessels stay more relaxed, mimicking the body's state during exercise. In other words, reframing stress can literally change its biology. Of course, mindset isn't the only factor. There are physical practices proven to reduce stress hormones and rebalance the nervous system. Exercise, for example, is one of the most effective stress relievers. It not only burns off excess cortisol, but also boosts endorphins, your body's natural mood elevators. Even a brisk 20-minute walk can reset your stress response and calm an overactive mind. Breathing practices are another powerful tool. When you slow your breath and deepen it, especially with techniques like box breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and digest mode that counteracts the fight or flight response. Science shows that even just a few minutes of mindful breathing can lower heart rate, reduce blood pressure, and quiet the storm inside your body. Sleep, too, is crucial. Stress and sleep are locked in a tug of war. Stress makes it hard to sleep, and lack of sleep makes stress worse. But prioritizing good sleep hygiene, like reducing screen time before bed, keeping a consistent schedule, and creating a calming environment, can strengthen your brain's resilience to stress. During deep sleep, your brain literally processes stress, consolidates memories, and resets hormonal balance. Nutrition also plays a surprisingly important role. Chronic stress depletes essential nutrients like magnesium and B vitamins, which are vital for regulating mood and nervous system function. Eating a balanced diet rich in whole foods, leafy greens, omega-3 fatty acids, and probiotics can fortify your body's stress defenses. Emerging research on the gut-brain axis suggests that a healthy microbiome can reduce anxiety and buffer the effects of stress. In other words, your gut health is directly tied to how you handle pressure. Social connection may be one of the most underestimated factors in reducing stress. When you share your struggles with friends, family, or even a support group, your brain releases oxytocin, a hormone that counters the effects of cortisol. This tend and befriend response shows that human connection isn't just emotionally comforting, it's biologically protective. Even short moments of positive interaction can help regulate your stress levels. And then there's mindfulness and meditation. Once dismissed as mystical, these practices are now backed by hard science. Regular meditation has been shown to reduce cortisol, increase gray matter in stress-regulating regions of the brain, and enhance emotional resilience. You don't need hours of practice to see benefits. Even a few minutes a day of focusing your attention and observing your thoughts can train your brain to respond more calmly to stressors. But here's a key point. Overcoming stress doesn't mean eliminating it entirely. Stress, in small bursts, can still be valuable. It sharpens focus, fuels motivation, and pushes us to grow. The real challenge is learning how to keep stress from becoming chronic and toxic. By reframing how we see stress, practicing proven techniques to regulate it, and supporting our bodies with healthy habits, we can transform stress into a force for growth rather than destruction. So, why is it important to overcome stress? Because left unchecked, stress silently chips away at your body, your mind, and your joy in life. But managed well, stress can become a teacher, a motivator, and even a source of strength. The power is not in avoiding stress altogether, but in mastering it. Science is showing us that we have more control than we ever thought. The next time you feel overwhelmed, remember this. Your stress response is ancient, but your tools for managing it are modern. You don't have to be trapped in fight or flight mode. With awareness, practice, and the right strategies, you can reclaim balance, protect your wellness, and live with a mind and body that work in harmony, not in constant alarm. Stress may be inevitable, but suffering doesn't have to be. Your path to resilience and wellness starts with understanding, and the choice to take back control is yours.
If you find this video informative, please hit the like button, subscribe this channel, and feel free to share your comments.